Blah, blah, blah. So, they've made some adjustments to his power, which should help Freddy feel like the dream demon he was always destined to be. Our philosophy was to make the dream world presence affect survivors even when they're awake. I'd go the other direction. I'd make it where he's just super strong when they're asleep, but you'd make it where they're asleep more often, kind of thing. But let's just see. Given the nightmare a consistently threatening edge, with more flexibility than ever before. But yeah, I mean, this is going to be easier to do, innit? Because now they don't need to be asleep, and you can still have some kind of benefit. Press activate ability to swap between dream snares and dream pallets. Okay, so you get both. Yeah. It's been long requested, and we're thrilled to finally make it happen. We consistent access to two impactful abilities. Nightmare can live up to his name by slowing survivors down and shattering them psychologically. We've already talked about this, saying that it should be a thing. So, yeah. It's not the most interesting. It should have been pretty much a base, but it is good that they finally realised that. Having the ability to quickly swap between powers has the added benefit of raising the killer's skill ceiling. Not really. While providing him with two different tools to utilise and chase. It's not really going to raise the skill ceiling, but they won't understand that. It's not. But it does allow him more tools to deceive. Dream snares now move at 12 ms with a cooldown of 5 seconds. They can go through walls and upstairs, but not off ledges. Dream snares now move... Oh, interesting. So you put a snare down and it moves... at 12 ms. So it's basically... What I get from this... Can you see this? It's there, innit? Can't see that part. Yeah, I just realized... You know what? I'm just going to do this. So I know where you're seeing it. There. That's where I'm looking. There we go. So the dream snares now move at 12 ms. So what I'm seeing from that is when a survivor is in front of you, you put a dream snare down and it goes forward and they need to dodge it. Kind of like when Death Slinger is kind of aiming, or when Huntress is aiming, how they have to kind of dodge. And if it hits them, it's going to slow them. Very weird. Dream snares now have unique interaction with survivors, whether they're asleep or awake. Sleeping survivors will be hindered for 4 seconds, while awake survivors will gain 30 seconds on their sleep meter. Okay. So that doesn't actually do anything to people who are awake then. But it does get them close to sleep, okay. So he's still got the negative of them being awake, so far. This change grants the Nightmare additional flexibility when using the snare, allowing him to use them against a wider variety of opponents. Is that just talking about different levels of skill? But they've worded it weirdly. I think it is. They're on about like bad survivors and good survivors, right? Because what do they mean by a wider variety of opponents? Interesting. At least they're, well, yeah, whatever. Making it so survivors... They just don't want to use that, do they? They want everyone to feel like they're really good. Making it so survivors don't need to be asleep to be affected will make quite the impact, not just on a power level, but thermically as well. Thematically. Sure. Dream pallets can be triggered to explode in a geyser of blood. The explosion occurs 1.5 seconds after activation with a 3 meter radius. When sleeping survivors hit, they become injured. Wow, okay. They need to make it where every map can use this, though. There's some maps where you literally can't put sleep pallets until you break a pallet. So you can't use this ability on certain maps until people start breaking pallets. Which is fucking weird. But interesting. That's quite strong, I feel. They become injured. When a wake survivor is hit, they gain 60 seconds on sleep timer. They become injured. That's actually really strong. Wow, okay. That's super strong. That's kind of like what I'm doing with Trapper. You know with Trapper, how I'm putting traps around, but when they disarm them, they get injured. This'll do that. You'll put these, like, places around, and for them to get rid of them, you have to injure themselves. It's the same thing. It's the same kind of concept. You're getting injured from the other side of the map while chasing someone else, potentially. I like that. That's, yeah. That's quite strong, that.
Support.
That's actually super strong. In chase, that's super strong too.
Bosh.
Unless they make it where it can't hit you. If they make it where the survivor has counterplay to it, where they can physically not get hit, it's shit. Because they'll just, you know, it's once again going to be good for lower levels, but when you go against better survivors, it's not going to work, which is the worst way to design something. You design it for the top, not the bottom. The Pickle Hater, thank you for the 3 months, and I agree, pickles are shit. Sulfur as well, thank you for the 2 months if I missed it. Dream Parts have been fun and rewarding way to mind game survivors. Wanted to add even more benefit to landing successful deception. Now, even if the survivor does manage to escape the chase, they run the risk of sustaining a dark souvenir. Run the risk. Manage to escape the chase. Yeah, I guess we'll have to see with that. I wonder if you can dodge it. Let's see. Dream Pass have been fun rewarding. Did I read that? Yeah, I did. So, the Nightmare can now teleport to a completed, blocked, and endgame generator. That was so obvious to do. So, they're not doing too interesting things. They could have done, like, you know, Nightfall when you go into Dream World, right? Like, where it's really scary and stuff. They are doing kind of what we expected, where you're going to be able to teleport to block gens. Kind of stuff what it obviously needs. But it is good that it looks like they are listening to things that make sense. Like, I agree with a lot of this stuff. This is stuff that I felt like I needed. So now he's got map control. The snare thing's going to be weird. We need to have a look at that. But now he's got map control. He's probably going to be alright here, you know. Because he's going to have some anti-loop. He's going to have some mind game stuff, which can potentially give injures. We have a new strategy of going for the slugs as well. Like, I think this is going to be solid. He's a mouse one as well, so that works with knockout. As well as any survivor healing in the dream world. Oh, wow. Whoa. You can teleport to people healing? In the dream world. The thing what kind of like lays on all of this is how easy is it to break out of dream world. That's the thing what kind of will be the breaking thing of it, what, right? Dream protection on the healing survivor will teleport the Nightmare within 12 meters. Oh, okay. It's kind of like it's good for pressure though. It's kind of like Pinhead. Upon completing the teleport, survivors within 8 meters will reveal to the killer instinct and gain 15 seconds to the sleep meter. Interesting. God, imagine if the game were about hooks, man. This stuff would be... maybe in the future. The devs might eventually realise it's the best way to do it. Change. Teleport cooldown has been decreased from 45 to 30 seconds, and the teleport can no longer be cancelled. Oh, you can't cancel it anymore. Interesting. Why'd they get rid of that? That's interesting. Why would they get rid of that? You can't cancel it. Okay. An important part of the Nightmare's playstyle is creating the illusion of being everywhere at once. His dream projection is a major part of that. We made a few changes to make this more effective. We've removed the pain point of having survivor progress rendering the Nightmare's power obsolete. Yeah. Finally, in Dream World, don't let the name deceive you. The psychological torture chamber is far from the dream. We wanted this update to inject sleeping survivors with a sense of terror, paranoia, and urgency. So we made a few small but crucial tweaks. I wonder if it's going to tell you which one you're going to teleport to, but it doesn't, does it? Like shows you on the UI which one you're teleporting to. I bet it doesn't. So there isn't too much control, but it is good pressure. Control when I'm saying like going for specific people who you know like are the best ones to go for. In Dreamworld, healing survivors will be revealed by Killer Instinct for as long as they're healing and grid for 3 seconds once they stop, allowing the nightmare to teleport to them. Wait. Anywhere? Wow. Damn. This guy might actually be a top killer, guys. That'd be cool. He's been the weakest killer in the game pretty much for so long. Won't last long though, because people will pretend it's like the most overpowered stuff and all these videos, and then devs will knee-jerk. You know the routine at this point. We've also give a Dreamworld a slight visual polish, which should help immerse players further into the fantasy. We have plans to continue improving this in the future, so keep your eyes out for more to come. Sleeping survivors can use any alarm clock to wake up. That's huge. After using the alarm clock, it goes on a cooldown for 45 seconds, which can't be used. Okay. Survivor side want to address a few notable frustrations around alarm clocks. Generally progressive waking up. Confident these changes will improve the experience of playing against the Nightmare without having significant impact on the balance. Hope you enjoyed the updated Nightmare. Are they going to... Oh no, they have. So this is what I'm talking about, what could potentially break it. So they've made it where you can't do the no skilled check stuff. So survivors can break out a dream whenever they want by just missing a skill check. So they can get out of Dream World easier than ever right now. Dream World's better, but how long are they going to stay in it? I guess we'll see. But there does need to be a kind of little like push back and forth. Did they go too far? Did they not go far enough? I don't know. But it's the easiest than ever to get out of Dream World. Now it reveals the aura of survivors in the Dream World when they are further than 32 meters away, increasing each survivor's sleep meter by 50%. Oh, when they're further away, their sleep meter goes up 50% faster. How fast does it take for sleep meter to go up? Does anyone know? Is it a minute or something? Black box, blocked for 15 seconds. Exit gates are blocked for sleeping survivors for 15 seconds when they're opened. Yeesh. Yeesh, shit. Why have they changed that? Wait. I don't understand this. Recently opened exit gates are blocked for 15 seconds. Exit gates are blocked for sleeping survivors for 15 seconds when they're opened. What's the difference here? What's the difference here, guys? 45 seconds to fall asleep. Okay. So... I don't read the chart. You're right. Only sleeping survivors now. Why have they reworded it differently though? Because they've put recently opened exit gates, and now they just put exit gates when they're opened. Or they just rephrase. Why do... I know this was for everyone, but what does this mean? Does this just mean the exact same, but they've just reworded it for some reason? For like no reason at all. They've rephrased it, but it's the same thing. Okay. Weird. Yeah, this is trash. This already were kind of trash in my opinion, but this is just even worse. Swing chain. So, what do these used to do? Sounds of footsteps were louder. Interesting. Yeah, they definitely don't want you hearing footsteps. I think it's pretty much, what would I say? Just obvious at this point. So they got rid of the sound of footsteps one. After using a dream projection, block all vaults within 16 meters for 6 seconds. 6 seconds. It's not long. If they shift W away from you where you spawned, by the time you get close to them, every vault's going to be open. You think this is OP? I don't, but we'll have to see. Maybe it's stronger than I think. 6 seconds seems like no time at all. Keep an eye out for the full list, but rest assured the Dream Demon will have plenty of terrifying tools to work with moving. I mean, you nerfed this, devs. Don't act like you're like buffing them. And you nerfed this as well. Like, this would be super stronger than this. Come on. Come on. To decrease realm repetition, we're implementing a realm prevention system which will replace the existing map repeat prevention system. If you're not familiar, there is a distinction between realms and maps. A realm is a unique world, generally drawn from the memories of character, blah, blah, blah. So they're saying that if you get a cold wind farm, you won't ever get a cold wind farm again. It'll be a red forest, etc. So yeah, I mean, that's decent. Lots of people just use map offerings anyway, so I don't know what they're about. Deep wound update. Oh! Here we go. The deep wound. While experienced players have grown familiar with the deep wound mechanic and mending, it's been a continuous source of confusion for newer players. Let's just see. To help clarify things, which is fine, clarifying's fine, we've implemented a visual update similar to the anti-face camp bar. This bar will be a lot easier to track, appearing in front and center of the UI, and remaining there until you're fully mended. That's fine. We've also reduced the blood splatter and darkening effects. That's not fine. That's not what you do. This fine. This fine. This is nothing to do with confusion. This is like it makes it harder for you to see because that's the whole point. But whatever. Several subtle visual updates will now be added to the bar, highlighting the dire nature of the status. Check out the screenshot below. Okay, so it wasn't what you thought, guys. They just made it where this is weaker with the blood, and they made it so it's easier to understand for the newer players, which is fine. The UI thing is completely fine for the new players. Changing this so the experienced players have it easier isn't as fine. But again, everyone's using reshade and shit. I haven't seen reshade with like deep wound, but I assume that it probably even helps this, right? But yeah, men's self, there you go. Free character trials. It features a massive and growing roster of characters to make matters even more complex. Each character brings 3 unique perks into the game, with killers having an additional power to learn and master. It can be especially tricky to gauge each character, blah blah. It's added to be launched a new system that will allow you to use specific characters for free. They used to have this, by the way. They used to have this a few years ago. They got rid of it. Let's see how they do it though now. It used to be in the blood web. You could, if you didn't have the hag, for example, there'd be something what comes up in the blood web, and it allow you to play the hag. For 1 match. So characters free during an event period where in the event's queue. Know that the only characters will be available chosen at our discretion, but they will be accessible to everyone. While this will be for a limited time, we restricted access to Bloodweb, allow players to get a feel for the new character and even complete character-specific challenges. Okay, interesting. Well, Freddy's looking like he's solid. We definitely need to check him out. Do we know when Freddy's coming out? Oh, well, the changes, sorry. Do we know when the changes are?